Did you know the Mormons did not allow people with African ancestry to hold the priesthood or have important jobs in the church or engage in any of the saving ordinances necessary to reach full salvation as laid out by the doctrine from 1852 to 1978? There was also organizational prohibition of interracial marriage and opposition of the black suffrage movement. Joseph Smith, founder of the Mormon Church, was a bit of a waffler on racial issues and at times was opposed to slavery and supportive of abolition, but the Book of Mormon contains many references to the righteous people being white and the wicked people being made to have a mark of dark skin. The real trouble starts with Brigham Young. He's the guy who took over as leader of the church when Joseph died and decidedly and firmly was racist. It was under Brigham Young's rule that the black priesthood ban was put into place. The main justifier used for the racism is the curse of Cain. In the Bible, the first two sons of Adam and Eve are Cain and Abel. Cain was a farmer and brought fruit as an offering to God, while Abel was a shepherd and brought portions from his firstborn flock. God liked Abel's gift better, so he showed obvious favoritism towards Abel, and it made Cain jealous and angry, so he killed Abel, and it made him the first murderer. God asked Cain where Abel was, and Cain was like, "Am I my brother's keeper?" That made God super mad, so he cursed Cain to be a restless wanderer and he put a mark on him. And Mormons interpret this as the mark was dark skin. There's also the curse of Ham in the Bible as well, which this one tells how Noah got really mad at his son Ham. Not really super sure what Ham did, but he got mad at Ham. So he cursed Ham's son Canaan to be the servant of all servants, just lowest on the totem pole. Mormons also have the belief that Ham's wife was a direct descendant of Cain, meaning she carried this mark of dark skin, and so would Canaan, her child. So with these two stories, it led to the mental leaps of like, Black people have been marked by God because they are less valiant, and thus that is the reason that God lets them be in slavery and treated as less than, because for whatever reason in the premortal life, these are people who were just less valiant, and that's why they shouldn't be allowed to partake in the fullness of God's church here on earth. Anyway, some disturbing practices that came about because of these racist beliefs was that the church would go through people's ancestry looking for even a drop of African blood to deny people being able to go through the temple or hold the priesthood. There were also teachings from early leaders in the church about how everyone who reached the highest level of heaven and the afterlife would be made white and delightsome with white complexion and blue eyes. Also, it was taught that Satan had black skin, and in general, dark skin was a sign of disobedience to God. Eventually, the church caved to social pressure, in which it was revealed to the leaders of the church on June 9th, 1978, that God wanted them to lift the bans imposed on black members of the church. Racism in the church thereafter continued to be a fraught topic because the church never issued any kind of apology over the ban. I mean, they can't really, right? Or otherwise they would have to admit that they aren't a church led by God. They have to continue to uphold this stance that it was an inspired direction of God's will. However, there have been some denunciations of racism at the higher levels of leadership. It feels more reactionary to criticism than actually motivated by care or concern or compassion, but at least it's something. They're trying to grow as people. It's hard when you're locked into a rigid religion that tells you how to think, and also when they don't want to have to concede any power. If you thought this was interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me. I love you. Bye.